black t-shirt. No, he has a black one. That's his. That black t-shirt. No, that's black. Black one. Black again. Black.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I think we need to be a little bit louder for the moment that we are approaching here. Good evening, everybody. That's more like it. I am State Senator Alessandra Biaggi, and I could not be more excited to be here this evening in support of an amazing human being, first and foremost. A compassionate human being. A thoughtful leader, a transformational leader in this moment, and that is Jamal Bowman. Obviously, we are still waiting for a lot of the results to come in, but as they're coming in, I like what I'm seeing, and I think we all do. It has been a lot of hard work. It has been a lot of sweat, and I'm sure lots of blood and tears, but this is a moment that is important not to forget, because what it proves once again, and what I know it will prove once again, is that people and the currency of people is more powerful than the machine, that people are more powerful than money and special interests and lies, that people are the moment, and that people are going to take back the house that is the people's house, and that is going to happen in CD16 with Jamal Bowman. This was not a hard decision to endorse Jamal. In fact, it it might have looked like it was, but it was not at all. This decision for me was not only important, but it's about leaders meeting the moment. It's about leaders understanding that when the world shifts and changes, that we have to actually update our thinking and make sure that we get behind the best leader for the people of the moment. And that person is Jamal Bowman. And so, someone who will lead Congressional District 16 into the future, someone who cares about not only children as a former principal, but cares about all human beings, wants to make sure that everybody has equality and cares about the rights of all, no matter the color of their skin or their socioeconomic status or the zip code that they were born into or currently live in. This is a leader that is going to take us to the next level to make sure that the Bronx and Westchester, but especially the Bronx, is not at the bottom of the list when it comes to 62 out of 62 for health outcomes, and is somebody who is going to make sure that every single voice in this district is heard. And so I am so proud tonight to introduce you to the next member of Congress from the 16th Congressional District, Jamal Bowman.
What's happening? What's happening? How we doing?
Love is in the air.
So, first of all, thank you, Senator Biaggi. Senator Biaggi is the definition of gangster. So I want to just give you a shout out and thank you for all your support over the last few weeks. Also, first and foremost, I want to give honor and praise to Pauline Bowman, the woman that raised me as a single mom along with my three sisters. I wouldn't be standing here. I wouldn't be anything without her. And then she did the great job of passing me on to Melissa Oppenheimer Bowman, my wife, who has been my heart and soul and my rock throughout this entire process. She didn't have to be as supportive as she was, but she was. So I thank you, babe. I love you. Thank you so much. So, I'm a black man in America, raised by a single mom, spent some time in the housing projects, lived in rent-stabilized apartments, went to public schools my entire life, grew up during the crack cocaine epidemic, which hurt and ravaged many parts of my family as well as my friends' families as well. My best friend who's here tonight, I'll never forget the night he called me when I was out partying at a club and told me his brother was shot and killed. And at a very young age, as a black man in America, you get to learn about death and homicide and suicide and how it impacts not just you individually, but your community and the rest of the country. And it was these experiences that led me to being an educator in the first place. And I served in that role as an educator with pride and passion and dignity and tried my best to do everything I could to uplift the lives of every child that I taught and every child that I served, and to do everything I could to make sure families had what they needed and that they understood and leveraged the power of their voices. Unfortunately, as we all know, we live in a country where despite our financial wealth, we have tens of millions of children still living in poverty. And as an educator working for the Department of Education for 20 years, I've seen the impact of poverty on the lives of our kids each and every day. And poverty is not a result of children and families who don't work hard. Our children and families work as hard as anyone else. Poverty is by political design, and it's rooted in a system that has been fractured and corrupt and rotten from its core from the inception of America, especially over the last several decades. So poverty and the impact of poverty on our children and dealing with issues of institutional racism and sexism and classism and xenophobia and everything that keeps the majority of us oppressed is what we designed this campaign to fight against. So tonight, as we celebrate, we don't just celebrate me as an individual. We celebrate this movement, a movement designed to push back against a system that's literally killing us. It's killing black and brown bodies disproportionately, but it's killing all of us. It's killing us mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. It's forcing us to live in a country and in a world where so many people are hopeless and have lost faith, not just in the political system, but in each other. But our movement is designed to restore that faith, to restore that hope, to bring back the belief in what is possible, to root our values in everything we do, values of humanity, equality, and justice, values that will center us fighting for those who are disenfranchised, for children with special needs, for our seniors, for women, for people of color, to rebuild an infrastructure as we go forward and a democracy that works for everyone. Let me tell you something right now. Elliot Engel, and I'll say his name once, used to say that he was a thorn in the side of Donald Trump. But you know what Donald Trump is more afraid of than anything else? A black man with power. That is what Donald Trump is afraid of. So if the results continue to bear out, as they are bearing out this evening, and we get to Congress, it will be our job to hold Donald Trump accountable and to hold every elected official accountable that continues to be beholden to corporate interests, that continues to be beholden to the wealthy, and is not fighting for the poor and is not fighting for the working class in our country. Because America, if we are truly powerful, we should use that power to create peace all over the world, to become a humanitarian leader on this planet, and to make sure we have housing and jobs and fully funded schools and infrastructure and health care that's exemplary and humane immigration reform and a humane restorative justice system that reinvests in communities that have been historically neglected. This is that moment. This is that moment for all of us. And the results show that this district is demanding change. This is what this district has been waiting for. This is what this country has been waiting for. And we are all here now together. So I am excited. I am happy. I am fired up. I cannot wait to get to Congress and cause problems for the people in there who have been maintaining a status quo that is literally killing our children. And the last thing I want to say is this, just to prove how rotten our system is. During this coronavirus pandemic, while over 110,000 people have died, Jeff Bezos and other billionaires have increased their wealth by tens of billions of dollars. If that doesn't capture how rotten our system is, I don't know what does. So let's allow this to be a moment where every single person in this district and every single person in this country feels like they are a part of our democracy, that their voice matters, and they will engage from the presidency to Congress to State House to City House to City Council to county positions. We need everyone involved to change our country and change the world. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I love you all. Now, before I go, I have to thank some organizations that have worked with me, and I'm going to take out my notes because I don't want to forget anyone and have anyone get mad at me. All right? Hold on one second. Big shout out and thank you to the Justice Democrats, the Jewish Vote, the Sunrise Movement, the Working Families Party, New York State Nurses Association, Make the Road Action, Community Voices Heard Power, New York Communities for Change, and everybody else that supported this campaign. And I have some individuals. Jumaane Williams, public advocate Jumaane Williams. Is he here? Is he here? Come on, son. Where you at, Jumaane? State Senator Alessandra Biaggi, New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Zephyr Teachout, Cynthia Nixon, Brad Lander, Gustavo Rivera, Tiffany Caban, Rosa Rivera McCutcheon, Robert Jackson, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Ayanna Presley, Katie Porter, Jessica Ramos, Diane Ravitch, and last but not least, every single volunteer that put their blood, sweat, and tears into this campaign and into this movement. Without you, we would not be here. We made well over 1 million calls, 1.3 million, I believe. Thank you all so much for believing in me, believing in us. This is just the beginning. Let's get to work. I love you all. Thank you so much. All right, turn on the music. Let's dance.
Sideways. Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, who is she?